Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or hello if you are new. If you are, my name is Amy and I love reviewing hair care products, and my channel is dedicated to trying the weird and wonderful of the market, including hair masks, dry shampoos and hair oils. And I've tested out honestly a range of products from different affordability price points, so no matter your budget I will have reviewed a product that you probably would absolutely love, will really help to strengthen your hair. So as I educate you on products that you need in your collection and whether or not to buy a certain product, today I wanted to share 3 additional tips to prevent hair breakage. Now this is not a video where I'm telling you not to use heat, not to bleach your hair, because even though they may be realistic aims for some people in terms of preventing hair damage, for others it's near impossible. I know from my point of view, I bleach my hair, I get my hair bleached twice a year. I know people will have chemical treatments and bleach their hair and dye their hair in a way that means that they have more confidence, and that's what looking after your hair is all about. It's finding that happy medium between doing what you want to do to your hair in terms of your confidence and the way that you look and the way that you're happy with your hair, and then also looking after it so that it stays in the best condition possible. So I'm going to be sharing 3 additional tips to prevent hair breakage. So if this sounds like your kind of video and you're looking for tips to prevent split ends and hair breakage, then this is the video for you. So just keep on watching. So within my videos, if you don't know, I do work with hair care professionals behind the scenes to make sure that the information I'm providing with you are accurate and informative and isn't incorrect. I think that that's really important, and so they dedicate their time to help me in these videos. So I wanted to share some of the tips that we have been discussing with you, so that if you are struggling in terms of your hair never growing, or you have split ends and you just feel like what else can be the reason outside of the obvious, then hopefully this does help. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about was minimizing friction and rubbing. So this kind of houses quite a few different things that you could be doing that's causing your hair to snap off. So the first tip is, when you towel dry your hair, to get a microfiber towel that houses your hair to prevent too much damage. Having a hair towel that you would traditionally use on your body, on your hair, is very weighty. It in itself is a big product, and so that kind of causes friction on the front of your hair, because typically if you kind of like turban it, it pulls it back a little bit and that's causing friction there. But generally the actual material of a towel is not made to best look after your hair, whereas a microfiber towel does do so. It's a lot more gentler, and just the way that they're created specifically for the hair, your hair is in the best material possible when it's most vulnerable, because when it's wet it is most likely to break or snap. Likewise, a cotton t-shirt is also a great example, and I know a lot of my curly hair friends do use that to dry their hair to really maximize the curls as well. So finding an alternative way in which you can dry your hair that's not just a bath towel is really important, especially if you bleach your hair and your hair is even thinner and more fragile post wash. Then just using something that is really gentle is going to prevent that friction, which could be causing a lot of breakage. Now along that same line is all about shampooing, and don't be shampooing too aggressively. Do not be putting your fingers in and really kind of scratching at your scalp. I've seen it before and it can cause so much breakage because you're not being gentle. And I always like to say to people, especially those that have had like hair extensions in the past, is treat your hair like you have hair extensions in all the time. Make sure you're doing the same thing that you do to preserve the life of your extensions, but to your own hair, and it will thank you so much for doing so. So when you shampoo, just gently massage into the scalp. Do not aggressively rub, do not kind of like get too like involved in it, because that friction is causing your hair to snap at the roots, which is even worse because the whole length of your hair is going. In split ends you're kind of losing a little bit of the length, which is still a problem, but if you're being too aggressive at the scalp, it's just going to be coming out. Some hair loss is normal, but excessive hair loss caused by being too aggressive with your shampoo is definitely something that myself and the professionals I work with have seen so much, and just being a little bit more gentler can really help your hair to grow, because you're just making sure that you're being gentle and making sure it just doesn't fall out excessively. Now the next thing is having hairstyles that don't cause too much friction. Now I'm standing here today having a bun in my hair, very loose though, and you should be able to basically put your fingers under it and like go like that without it being tight, and that just means that it's loose enough that your hair's not going through too much friction. So that's both in the day. Don't be like pulling your hair back too much. A one-off time, fine. If you have an event and you want to wear your hair in a way that Kim Kardashian has worn it, that's fine, but don't do it all the time, because that kind of pulling of the hair is making your hair fall out. Your hair is not made to be aggressively pulled back. And then going from the day to night, the nighttime is also very, very important. And something I recently learned is changing the way in which you sleep with your hair is also very important, because if you're wearing your hair all the time up in a bun or in a pony or in plaits, that same friction could be causing concerns to your hair, because if you're continuously, say for example, pulling your hair up in a pony to sleep in, you're still putting some pressure on the front of your hair, or even if it's really loose, but that friction is reoccurring. Whereas if you change your hairstyle, it's not causing friction to the same area, which I thought was so interesting and so obvious when you think about it. So I know I have now started to alternate the way in which I sleep with my hair and just change it up so I'm not causing the same areas to have too much friction. So the next point is all about conditioning your hair, not only regularly but thoroughly enough too. So the aim of using conditioner is one that is very, very simple, and it's to help manageability and prevent knots and tangles in your hair. Making sure that you're continuously conditioning your hair in the most appropriate way is incredibly important to make sure that your hair keeps the hydration that it really needs. Your hair is made up of protein and water, and so that water is really important in terms of making sure that your hair remains conditioned and isn't dry and brittle. That's why I love doing hair mask reviews so much, because they are an integral part of a hair care routine that prevents breakage and prevents dryness and stops your hair breaking or snapping. Now let's talk about after you have washed your hair. Using post styling treatments or post shower treatments are also equally really important, as well as hair masks. So I love using hair oils. You can use leave-in conditioners. Products like that are there to really aid the health of your hair post shower, because your hair does become extremely vulnerable, and then between that wash to the next it still needs to maintain moisture achieved here. And this is particularly important for those people that stretch their hair wash days out. I know people that wash their hair once a week, for example, and therefore the days leading up to the next hair wash, it's really important that you're using the right oils and leave-in conditioners to make sure that your hair doesn't dry up in that process, because hair is made to wash more often than that. So you need to make sure that you're substituting the water and the conditioner that you would ordinarily use in the shower with products afterwards. And so for me, hair oils are an absolutely game-changing product. I am someone that almost more recently really got into hair oils, and as soon as I did, I noticed the biggest difference. As I mentioned, I get my hair bleached twice a year. I irregularly use heat, but I do still have heat products that I use regularly, so I'm able to still do that. I'm still able to bleach my hair, use a smaller amount of heat, but still have heat, and still my hair is protected. Using heat protectants is important, using oils are important, using oils that have heat protection in them are really important, and finding those products that are key to your routine that make sure that your hair stays hydrated is incredibly important in terms of the conditioning element of your hair, and just cannot be skipped. And thankfully, loads and loads of brands are making these super affordable, as well as those higher end options if you have the money and the resource to be able to buy those. But there are tons of different options on the market, and hopefully my channel helps you see that you don't have to buy expensive to buy good. It's more the interest in the ingredients and the results, of course, and it depends on your hair type. I can share my experience with products and I do so, but if you have a different hair type to me, your experience could be extremely different. So I always recommend testing different products but finding the one that works so well for you and sticking with it. I have so many recommendations. I think for hair oils, off the top of my head, Olaplex No. 7 is my absolute favourite. But then when you look at the more affordable end of things, I absolutely love the Fanola NutriCare one. I've done a video on both of those, so I'll have them linked down below if you want to jump onto those afterwards. But you don't have to spend a lot, but you just have to find the right ingredients and the right products to actually get you through to the next hair wash to make sure your hair is well conditioned. And then worth noting here, if your hair is particularly curly or coily and you are prone to knots very easily, it's finding a knot prevention system that works best for you as well. So again, a lot of those oils for me I find is enough to prevent oils and makes manageability of my hair from a brushing perspective a lot easier. But I'm very aware that those that have curlier hair than mine may struggle still. There are tons of different brands that are specific for that hair type, and so again, keep researching. Leave your recommendations down below if you found your holy grail version, I would love to hear from you, and so that you can kind of share those with others watching this video as well. But yeah, leave-in conditioners, leave-in oils for me have been a game changer, and even if you have healthy hair, continuing to use those, there is no disadvantage of using those products. So I absolutely recommend them, and I just swear by them, honestly. Now the third tip that I wanted to share today, I didn't want this video to be too long, but I wanted to just share some more helpful tips with you, is UV and humidity prevention. And this is my final tip today because I didn't want this video to be too long, but I also wanted to just accumulate different information from beyond the obvious in terms of looking after your hair. So when you probably think of humidity, your immediate reaction is probably hotter countries than us. We're in the UK, and even our summers can get quite hot, but generally it's pretty cold, to be honest. But if you are abroad and you have a very hot climate, that's where your humidity idea may go to. However, it's also as simple as when you get out of the shower and your room is steamy, that is a humid area. And this is where specifically people that go between extra days between their hair washes do find advantages to their hair, because the humidity can really negatively affect your hair. So those that don't wash as regularly are going into that humid environment a lot less. This is also appropriate if you are prone to going to saunas and steam rooms often, and when we can do so, of course. And those types of environments are kind of not designed for your hair's health, and so those that do that less frequently definitely see a positive effect in terms of their hair's health. And I always like to mention within my videos that your hair and your skin are very similar in terms of the way in which you look after it and care for it. And when it comes to sun damage, prevention is better than a cure. In fact, you can't cure sun damage. It's just one of those things that is going to continue to age you and also put you at risk of additional health problems. Using hair specific sun cream and also sitting in the shade, even though that sounds very obvious, is so good for your hair. And this will prevent your hair from weakening due to those external factors such as the sun and UV rays. So there are two different kind of UV rays. UVA is basically the aging element, and UVB is essentially the sun damage element, where you'll burn or you'll tan depending on your skin type. When your skin burns, your hair will also burn, so you really want to prevent that. Just making sure that you have like a hair specific SPF. I know I actually found those in Primark, which is really affordable for so many people, but even if you're abroad, making sure that you're applying SPF to your hair or wearing hats as appropriate, just to minimize the effect of the sun onto your hair, because your scalp will become weaker and that's where your hair grows from. So you really want to make sure that that is in the best condition possible. And again, there's tons of different products on the market that can maximize the scalp's health specifically, but these external factors are all things that you need to consider. And if in the morning you are applying sun cream because, say for example, you're on holiday, you need to do that on your hair as well. Otherwise it will become a lot drier and can also snap off due to excess heat and if it gets sunburnt itself. So that is today's video. So I wanted to share those additional tips with you in case you are still struggling to grow your hair or trying to find the source of the hair breakage for yourself. So I hope this has been informative. If you have any additional tips, please do leave them in the comments below. I know others would absolutely love to hear from you, and I love this kind of community where people are commenting and being able to discuss their own experience with products I'm trying. That fills my heart with so much joy. So if you haven't already, please do be sure to subscribe to my channel. It means ever so much, and thank you so much to everyone that has recently subscribed. I feel honestly so humbled. I know that my platform is not huge, but I really do appreciate every single person that does subscribe. I literally get notifications of everyone's name and I really do feel so thankful. So honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for your recent support. It means ever so much. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if this has been helpful for you. And with that all said and done, I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.